What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and we love to shine a nice bright spotlight on the creators who are out there in comic books doing amazing things. And today, you've heard all about Rise and Pocket Watch Press, and our friend Trevor has been on talking about his writing, but you might have heard the name Ryan Best pop up a few times for very good reason. And if you've read some of Trevor's work, Pocket Watch Press, you probably have seen a bit of Ryan's work. Well, today we get to talk to the man himself behind the artwork for Rise. And then, of course, we are going to talk about the upcoming horror that is out on Kickstarter now called Heavy. But before we do so, make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow if you like what you hear. Find us on YouTube, hit the notification button, check out everything else. And then, of course, follow in the links to find the Kickstarter to back the campaign. So, we love to dive right into it. Ryan, of course, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And we've gotten to see some of the really cool artwork on, Rise. The one thing that always stood out to me is this, obviously it's a superhero story, but what you do super well, is like the cape, the way that you manage to make the cape still feel like it's flowing in the wind and some of those things. So what was your introduction, your geek origin story, if you will, into getting into comics and art?
I think it's got to start with my parents. Both my parents are kind of geeks in their own right. My mom was always a Trekkie. She had me and my brother watching Alien, way too young.
Oh, yes.
But just immediate infusion into the geek world, Transformers, and then that led into Marvel comics, stuff like that. My parents got me and my brother like a Marvel subscription. So every couple of weeks we would just have like random Marvel comics coming to the house. My dad was an artist, and so he really kind of was like, oh, hey, this kid likes to draw, and he would like show me like how to draw and stuff. And later on, he introduced me to like Frank Frazetta and some of his favorite artists. So I think the combination of having like geeky parents and like an artist dad and like really supporting me through that whole time just inevitably wound me up doing comic books.
Oh yeah,
they just set you right on that path.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess usually our next question is, how did you get into comic book creating? But there's your answer right there. So now let's go, because you and Trevor, this is not your first comic. Like, we're here mainly to talk about Heavy, but like Matt said, you did Rise with him before, which we've talked about. We've read some of those issues. Fantastic story. It's such a unique spin on the whole superhero story, and the art is absolutely gorgeous. So how did you two get connected, and how is your process of working with him and getting these stories made?
Yeah, we literally just met at a convention at Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's my home show. I'm based out of North Carolina.
Dude, I'm 5 hours away from there. I'm trying to get down there this year, actually.
Oh, cool, 5 hours, like that's like around the corner.
It's really not that far away from me. I have family down there in like Charlotte and stuff, so
he'll drive anywhere.
It's an amazing show. I definitely recommend it. It's almost, it's a very artist-centric show. It's all like the floor is almost entirely artist alley, indie creators. It's been running for like 40 some years now. So a lot of big names show up. It's just a very family friendly, very cool show. But yeah, we met there. I, for years, had a table right by the bathrooms. And I always thought it was a good spot because everybody has to go to the bathroom at some point. And sure enough, Trevor was walking by, going to the bathroom, saw my table, and we got to talking. He commissioned me to do a Damian Wayne drawing for him. And, that was kind of like our first introduction to each other. And then later that year, we met up again at New York Comic Con. Neither of us had a table. We were both just kind of trying to like show our stuff, network and whatnot. And we ended up staying out till like 5 a.m. drinking. And
that happens at New York Comic Con.
It also happens when you're with Trevor too. I've noticed, because we've done that too at MegaCon. We've gone out drinking, with Trevor, and one thing leads to another. You're just chatting the night away, and he has a way of doing that to people. I've noticed, in a good way though, because it forms really good connections.
Yeah, exactly. And so from there, it's just kind of been like little escalations after hanging out. He gave me like a 8-page short story in Minutes to Midnight. And then after that, we met up again at Heroes, and that's when he pitched me Rise.
And so how's the process? Does he just give you the paperwork the story, and you're able to put it there? Has your process developed in working with him? Like, are you guys more in sync now than you were at first?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we've definitely developed like a shorthand for like certain stuff. Like at this point, like he knows what I'm good at. So if he's got like a page where he just feels like I'm just gonna let you do your thing, he'll just kind of say that in the script. Other
Very
times
cool.
he's like very particular and is like, these are the beats we need to hit. This is like the pacing that needs to happen. These are the shots that I want. And so it's just kind of like a balance between that. He's always open if I have alternative ideas or think something's not going to work. He always encourages me to let him know. And yeah, but for the most part, he gives me the script, and we just go from there.
Nice.
That's
Now,
awesome that you guys have that kind of relationship. 'Cause
yeah,
that's when I feel like you get the best stories in art. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's really is the best, and it comes out because, you know, looking even at Heavy, like the cover that you guys have and all of the artwork, there's such a strong, stark realism to those. How did you guys come up and collaborate on Heavy, and what can you kind of pitch to us about what this is? Because it's not the superhero story people might be coming to kind of know out of you guys' teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Heavy's been a little bit of a struggle, kind of changing gears because Rise was such a. We could just look at comic books and be like, "This is what we're going for. We're going for that Marvel look. We're going for that DC look. We want that like same cleanliness, precision, just like level of quality." With Heavy, we were like really changing it up style wise. He told me when we first started that if people looked at those two books side by side, he didn't want them to know the same person drew it. And so like in our discussions we were talking about like materials. Like for this one, I'm hand inking everything. I have like sponges and old brushes and airbrushes, and I'm just like throwing stuff at the page and just like trying to get a lot of texture, a lot of mood. We're like really mood focused in Heavy.
You got a lot of mood on this cover A, for example, though. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
but
person like an X-ray through the smoke, for example. That's crazy work. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah. But like even with that cover, I think that was like the third version of the like I had done like at least one full version of the cover already, and we were like, it's not right. Trashed it, started all over on that one. So now that we're kind of like building from scratch again, we don't have the shorthand on Heavy quite yet. So it's a lot of just like trial and error,
Right.
Yeah.
especially like on that cover. And even I actually just turned in a page this morning where he had it written in the script. I did it. I misread what he put. I tried it again. He's like, that's still not working. And then he's like, I don't know what to do. So I just did something like on my own and sent it. So there is like a lot of, we're still trying to like figure out some visual language and just get like the style locked down and kind of like what we're going for on the book. But I'm really happy with how it's turning out. And creatively, it's been a lot of fun to just kind of be like, all right, forget everything you've been doing, just do something completely different. And like focusing on just like mood and vibes and just like that word heavy, like every page you kind of look at it and be like, man, this is heavy, dude, you know?
Absolutely.
So what kind of inspirations do you think drew into the story? Because this is a completely new story, like you were saying before. Like we've read, many different stories from him, like you said, Minutes to Midnight and the Helix Project and Rise. So now this is supernatural. So what are some of the influences? Like if you were pitching it to somebody and you thought that, oh, well, you like these things, you'll enjoy this comic.
Yeah. I don't know if Trevor's really read a whole bunch of them, but I feel like if you're a fan of Junji Ito, you'll like Heavy. It's just got like it's like supernatural, but it's not just like a supernatural like, oh, there's ghosts and demons. It's kind of like a supernatural vibe tied to like internal horror and drama kind of. So I think like if you like Junji Ito, you'll dig what's going on in Heavy.
I mean, this does seem like it's a heavy because,
It's a
looking
heavy
at
comic.
I was going to say, looking at the Kickstarter, I mean, first of all, it's about everybody vanishing, so to speak. And that kind of leaves somebody on their own and kind of, it almost feels, they're very young as well. So for you, did you find it kind of easier? And like, maybe this time you took more of the reins and was like, since Trevor maybe not has read a whole bunch of that, were you like, hey, trust me in this case? Or was there an equal amount there teaching each other?
I think it was. I'm definitely not taking the reins on this one. I think it's a lot more trial and error. I think like Trevor's been wanting to do this story for a long time. He had another artist lined up, just didn't work out. And then I was just like, I want to do it. I want to try it. And I think it's been a lot of, like I said, there's no shorthand. So he's trying to figure out how to get this thing out of his head and onto the page.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to interpret that. And so it's been a lot of like, is this what you mean? No. Okay. Is this what you mean? You know, and so it's like a lot. It's a lot
You're
harder.
waiting for that aha moment. That's it.
Exactly.
I gotta
And it's
imagine.
great when it pays off because like I love sending a page where I'm just like, I got it. This is it. You know, this is what we're looking
Yeah.
for. And
I was
now
gonna.
I feel like
Oops,
as we go on, oh sorry, as
no,
we
no, no.
go
You're
on,
good.
gotten like easier and easier through the book that now I'm kind of like I'm picking up what he's putting down. We kind of got a vibe going. We kind of got like some rendering techniques like going on. So yeah,
But that's when you know it's going to be good. When you're like, no, we have to go back to the drawing board. Like you're not half-assing it. You're not being like, yeah, okay, fine, that'll work. Like you guys are giving it your all, and you know it's going to be an awesome product when it's finished.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. And I know that you've mentioned it's a lot of trial and error, throwing things out, and sometimes for artists that can be really frustrating because art it takes a lot of time. But you seem to enjoy that a little bit. Are you finding that it's also helping you learn new skills or up your game in that matter? Then.
Oh, for sure, definitely. It's also kind of like reacquainting me with like how I used to draw. I did go through like a kind of like an emo kid phase where everything I was drawing.
Oh, it was never
like,
a phase. I'm still there. So
as far as my art goes too, I was just like I did go through a phase where everything was like gritty and like Spawn and just like heavy lighting and like I got really into
too much Frank Miller.
Yeah, I got into Caravaggio for a while. I don't know if you know much about art.
A little bit.
Yeah, he's like a Renaissance painter that really had very intense lighting and deep shadow. And so like a lot of his paintings are done with like this like spotlighting effect and then just like deep, rich darkness. And I was like super into that like super moody stuff. Tim Bradstreet, when he was working on Punisher, I used to really like that like super like ink heavy, deep shadow. Like you never see the eyes. It's always just like blacked out. And I went through phases of that. And then I got really into like Adam Hughes and Art Nouveau and like Joe Madureira. It's all just like bright and clean and shiny and nice. Mm-hmm. And so now it's kind of like fun to kind of go back and just be like everything's in shadow. I'm not trying like anything, but like it's a lot of fun to play with that mood.
Yeah, and it keeps it so you never get bored. You're not just doing the same thing over and over again. Like, oh, here's Spider-Man in New York again. Not that there's anything wrong. I love Spider-Man, but yeah, keep it fresh, keep it fun.
Yeah. So aside from that, like I know that it's something fresh, something new. Do you have a specific kind of genre or style, like horror or superheroes, or is there one that you prefer to draw over the other? Or are you just like, hey, I just wake up, take whatever challenge it is that day, and I'm ready to go?
I don't know. I think that's part of my problem is I don't draw the same stuff all the time, I think. And I did have a discussion with somebody where they're like, Ryan, what's your style? And I'm like, I don't know, like whatever I feel like drawing,
But there's nothing wrong with that at the same time because art is very expressive at the same time.
Yeah.
Some days you want to draw Winnie the Pooh. Other days you want to draw something dark and Renaissance.
Yeah. Which is like
I might be the only one who wants to draw Winnie the Pooh.
Dark Renaissance Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, there it is. And he's free reign now. Yeah, free public domain. Somebody do it.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit about doing comics and also like being good friends with the person you're making comics with is you can just kind of like, pitch style changes, pitch ideas. You're not like really locked into anything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, Rise and Heavy are what you guys are focusing on now. But do you see future projects down the line? Like, have there been any ideas that you two have discussed that you're like, oh, we should do that next?
Yeah, this is like a bit in the future, but there is like talks of doing like a noir sci-fi kind of detective story. That's about all I can talk about for now.
That's all I can say. Trevor's going to show up at his house or ours any minute now and cut the feed.
Delete it.
Cut it out. He's like Feige. But no, that's exciting. And aside from that, do you have any other projects that you have coming down the pipe, or are you just really focused on Heavy right now?
We're kind of bouncing back and forth between Heavy and Rise. So like I've already started working on covers for like the next issue of Rise and stuff like that. I just turned in the last pencil pages for Heavy. So I'm going to ink and color those, and then we're right into Rise number 5.
Okay, Rise number 4 is still going on, correct? The Kickstarter for 4? Or is that I had it up earlier and I meant to double
no,
check.
I think he's fulfilling orders on Rise 4.
Okay.
Like
I think that one wrapped up recently. I do remember because I had it up earlier too before I switched to heavy, but I think that one wrapped up recently. And now how long does the campaign or how long do people have until heavy? Like when's the last day that they can support this project as well?
Yeah, we have a little over 2 weeks left of the heavy campaign. So we're getting into the final stretch here.
So head to Kickstarter now. You can even just Google Kickstarter heavy and it should come right up. But of course, Matt is going to put the links in the show notes.
Obviously,
so if somebody
I will.
wanted to get Rise, though, can they get all the 4 issues and then bid on the 5 when that next campaign starts?
They can, yeah.
Okay, so if you're behind, you don't need to be behind. You can get caught up. And that one's a fantastic one. Can you give us a reel? Because I love the concept of how he has to like be happy to be a superhero. So for anybody who either forgot or because, it's been a while since we've had Trevor on, can you give us a quick just pitch for Rise and then a quick pitch for Heavy before we go into the where can people find you and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, so Rise is it's basically the deconstruction of the modern male ego through the lens of a Superman. And he gets his power with spikes of dopamine. So in order to like do his superhero feats, he needs to feel good to do good. And so the book really takes a look at, are the things that make you feel good necessarily the things that make you a good person? And that's kind of like the pitch for Rise as we kind of look at that. And then for Heavy, it's a mystery about a man whose younger brother he abandoned into the foster care system. And he's been getting these letters that he's refused to open due to his overwhelming guilt from his younger brother. And as that's like the main story. And then as that's going on, people are vanishing all around the country and the world and stuff. And that's going to be tied to a supernatural force powered by like people's guilt.
Oh, that's
a lot
clever.
Of emotions running things.
Yeah. I feel like that's when horror is really at its best too, is when it plays into people's emotions. And you don't typically see guilt being one. It's a lot of the times it's, that fear or something that they're playing into, but guilt gets kind of overlooked. And so I'm really excited to go into that. And I'm also even more excited because if this hits $20,000, I'm looking right here, Ryan gets a raise. So everybody needs to go out and support this. Like first and foremost, $20,000 backing into this, Ryan gets a stellar raise. That's exciting. Okay, everybody. If there's no other reason than to get this, it's to get this man his well-deserved raise.
I feel like you need to start playing some music with that.
I know. Well, because I was looking, so it's just funny because I was looking at the stretch goals, and we have the mini prints, and then Ryan's payday, $20,000.
Which he's got some gorgeous prints.
There are. Yes,
I have one up on my wall. That's right there.
I can't see anything.
Whoop, right above Superman. That's one that Trevor signed.
That's a TV.
That's a TV.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with her. She does. Trevor hooked us up with a couple of the prints and whatnot, which beautiful. We'll have to share those out. And speaking of share them out, I know we've got Heroes Con for you coming up in, I believe it's June. Where else can people find you, whether it's social media? Do you have any other upcoming comic conventions that you're going to be at?
Yeah, the next convention I'm going to be at is a fan expo in Toronto, and that's in March. And then May, I'm going to Denver, and then Heroes in June.
We got some friends that are going to be up there. If you run into Michael Schwartz, who is a fellow comic book creator, he's got Armored. Get linked up with him because he's doing incredible work too. And I think you guys have some pretty similar tastes, and you guys would hit it off. So we've got friends up there going to Toronto. If anybody out there is listening, going to Toronto or, to Denver, we got friends there. So let us know. But where can people find you?
Everywhere?
We do. I got family. But where can people follow you on social media if they want to see more from your artwork and more of what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm mostly active basically just on Instagram at Ryan Best Art. I also have a website.
It is.
I have a website, ryanbestart.com. So
it's all there.
Type in Ryan Best Art.
Built in the name. Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah. I mean, you've got the best last name because it just flows and everybody's like, oh, look at this guy. And then they see, hey, wait, no, that is. And then it speaks for itself because your art really is phenomenal. And everybody should absolutely check it out and read these comic books because you are in for a treat, both visually and story wise. It's amazing. So, Lauren, do you have any final thoughts?
Follow Pocket Watch Press. That's what Trevor posts a lot of awesome
Yeah,
reels and stuff too about being a creator, and so he's very active on there. And it seems like he's always going to cons all over the place. So yeah, check him out on the Kickstarter. Follow him on the socials, and yeah, you won't be disappointed. We haven't been.
you will not. And Ryan, of course, thank you so much for hanging out with us and sharing the look behind your artistic, abilities, how you got started, where a bit about heavy and everything like that. So thank you again so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
Everybody else, show notes is where you can find everything, and make sure to hit the notification button here on YouTube to go ahead and follow and never miss an episode. We have a lot of great creators that we get to speak to, such as Ryan. And also, this man is in one of the best shirts I've ever seen. So for no other reason, come to the YouTube because this shirt's amazing. And I'm obsessed with otters. And that is what you need to do. So we will see everybody next time. It's utterly the best. And with that, we leave you. Cheers, everybody.